Hello, Warriors. It's a Dale and Mike show on TradeGATEHub.com, sponsored by TradeView Markets. Mike, wild 48 hours, starting Thursday, we started breaking down and follow through into Friday. They tried to rally it last night, Sunday evening, and we washed. I posted in the room, there was divergence down here. I actually said cover shorts.
Yes, you
Whether
did.
you got long or not, that's fine.
That's where I took off the VIX, by the way. Sorry.
Okay, great. That's where I took off the VIX, and
All
you
right,
know what?
I didn't mean to interrupt the segue, but
No, but it was up here. And I'll tell you something about these option guys. You see, I own 25 calls,
yeah,
June's. They
yeah.
put no premium into it. They barely gave me the intrinsic value on it. In fact, they didn't. I was doing it at 31, right? There are 25 calls, and I had a hard time getting $4.50 for them.
That is the best. That coach. That's we say option flow. Being in that option flow is the best tell out. That's the best relative strength gauge out there.
They weren't paying me. They
That's
weren't
correct.
paying me.
You were right, and you were right, but you were wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it was still close
That
to
was
a
a good
double,
gauge.
but
I
I
felt the
sure had
same.
I had higher expectations. I thought they'd be worth $7-8 up there at 31. So anyway, big break. I asked myself, are things really okay, Mike? It looks to me like we're on our way to nationalizing the banking system
Yeah. No.
because I don't think that we could bail out the cronies of the current administration and not help other banks. And they said guarantee all deposits. So if they're talking about guaranteeing all deposits, they're nationalizing the bank. So that's above SIPC. So why do you even need SIPC if the Fed's just going to guarantee every buck in every account? I think this is a big shift. And you know what Warren Buffett said? When the tide is in,
Yeah.
you can't see what's going on, but when the tide goes out, you see who's swimming naked. We're starting to see a lot of nudes out there, Mike. And if there's one cockroach, there's usually more than one.
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay. First of all, yeah, I agree. Okay. When I say I'm going to leave it to the professionals, obviously I have a good point of view. I'm acting on it, but there are certain ways of I think you are, matter of fact, I know you articulated better in a grand way. Okay. This is what I can say, and I'm going to boil it down to. I have my opinion, but what I said in yesterday's video, I think was bigger than anything. And that was even, I'm going to derive it back to your VIX calls. I'm not going to get caught. First of all, I do think that I believe in the cockroach theory there. Let me put that out there. So I think there's more to fall. And I used the Walmart chart. When Walmart said there was something wrong with inflation last year. Remember that big scar that chart that Walmart had? Then more were more to follow.
Goldman Sachs, and we showed another, I think we showed B of A last week, breaking down before this. It was
Well, it's
on
still
our
breaking down.
broadcast.
This is a dead cat bounce. It's the first day up. Look,
No, I mean, well, we showed it last week. Banks before SVP, that the banks, certain banks were looking heavy. And I thought that we looked like we were going to attack 3,900 again, and we washed right through it. Now we're back above it. So, people probably don't care about our victory laps, about that we were right about this, we were right about that. They want to know, what do you do now?
Okay.
I think the market, I wrote in the room yesterday that you needed the market to get back above and close above 3,900 to stabilize it. Looks like we're getting it.
This is what I'm looking at. I'll share my screen in a second.
Okay,
A couple of things when it came down to the macro situation. My point being yesterday, and I was talking to my guys, not to be redundant, over the weekend. I am not going to get caught up in anything about worrying about. I'm not that smart anyway. About banks and with the trickle down theory, it could be a retailer that had this. It could be an oil stock that could have had the same reaction as Silicon Valley Bank. I would be alert for their respective sectors. But if I'm going to have an opinion, which is a lot harder to break an opinion in the market than a bad trading habit, about where the market is going outside of playing my usual stock picking and tools, which, by the way, as the VIX is up here, has working. I don't have to have an opinion. I do. But the point is, I'm not going to miss a move being stubborn on thinking that some federal system, our system, excuse me, or the banking sector, which is being shrugged off completely, as we could see today. I'm not gonna go there. Probably gonna be wrong anyway, but I'm gonna tell you a couple of things have been working. Stock picking, how the market closed yesterday, the VIX imploded into the close.
Yeah.
I'm going to start picking up some here. Don't get me wrong. Didn't the VIX close at the low of the day yesterday?
Yeah, and really getting cratered today.
Okay,
And look how well semis held up well.
There was one thing that kept, literally one thing that kept me going in an aggressive manner. And by the way, I'll show you my positions.
I'm going to turn them over to you now.
And the positions that I took are all down.
They're all your charts.
Okay, here we
Your
go.
charts now.
No, I got you. Hold on. I'm a little slow here, coach. Take it, hold on here. Okay. What I'm saying is this, and here's my charts, and we're going to skip the rhetoric of what's going on with the bank.
BMA still looks ugly.
Oh, well, it is up here, and I don't know why it's going. Okay, so what I'm saying is, stocks are acting for stock picking as they should. Apple bounced off the 200-day like it should. Hold on, considering the market had an okay. You know what? Let me go back to TradeGATEHub. Because a lot of these small, I'm building a base here to make more macro points on my view going forward. So I have to do this. So not to sound corny or whatever it is, I got to make a couple of points first. And where is this thing? Share. And they're important points. Okay. And they're brief because I tried to be, as TradeGATEHub, always about quality, not quantity. All right. So here's last week that we closed with record put volume. I'm aware of it. Okay. So did it have to necessarily take a bank, as the 16th largest bank, to go under, or readjust, as you would say, the banking system to just be, to just go free, for lack of a better term? So I keep that in mind. I see how they're reacting to CPI. I'm looking at short-term, trading sentiment. I'm looking at the credit default swaps. I'm so sick of typing credit default swaps for months. Then now I'm doing it again. Okay, so that's taking precedent. But let me go to my main screen. A lot of things are making sense. If you're a relative.
What led to the recovery yesterday, Mike? Let's get specific.
Oh, sure.
When the S&Ps were down, I don't know, 50, 60 handles.
The longer DocuSign, what happened here?
Go ahead.
The longer it took for a stock not to, for the world to go to implode, the more that it did, the longer it took for it not to happen, the more at least safe people felt from now on. And that was, by the way, evidence in your VIX futures, how those VIX options worked. Yesterday, there was always a place to go. And what kept me from going very long, for lack of a better term? Citibank. A lot of these other Schwabs, they finished near the high. And we by the way, go back in our video, stock went from 19 to 50, or PACW, even the small one, went from 4 to tripled. In, on whatever type of volume. If you don't know this, then mute us and go back to a couple of videos. What I'm saying is, but then I looked under the hood and I saw JP Morgan even was acting well, and everybody was, but that finished on the low. And I thought that, I thought that the other banks were bouncing, and maybe there was the other cockroaches to come out in my short-term view.
That's not good action today.
As Citibank closed, no, hold on. Citibank on the low, closed on the low yesterday with volume. Bank of America yesterday closed near the low on volume. What other ones? JP Morgan.
Out October lows.
As they covered the other ones, they closed these other banks on the lows. As the market was showing a little life into the close. So I said, I could have been mixed. But by the way, I'll show you all the stocks that I came in with long. I came in long with D-Dog. It had great. Listen, the day before, it had the flush with volume, never broke a new low, closed yesterday with the most closing up volume it had at some time, closed above the previous day's low. So I took it. All right. So this is me on D-Dog, selling it aggressively, by the way. D-Dog it closed at 66. I'm pummeling it between 68 and 67. Stock 64 now, and then the market's still up. Yeah. So, okay. Do I feel bad that some of these stocks sometimes work? And by the way, Microsoft was the one that was giving me to D-Dog, because they have, they're in the same church, different pew. What's another stock? Right. Here's Etsy, another high flyer example. Had a good day yesterday. Actually, it's below yesterday's close. So I'm keeping it. Sorry that Louis Pinto all over this freaking thing. Coin. You know, I mean, that tested below the 200-day. I'm wary of.
Bitcoin was a tremendous move from Friday's close. We've rallied about $3,000 in
What is this with
Bitcoin
this
since
DocuSign
Friday.
hurting me now? Now this thing's got me. I had a nice profit in DocuSign. And why did I show DocuSign, you asked? Because DocuSign was a stock that was under, that still had bad news. It had that, it had a flush. Yesterday, it squeezed everybody out, squeezed everybody out. I picked the high of the gap here, which was 55.30 this morning. The 2-minute chart is where I started, 55.01. Before I got on the air, it was 53.83. So it was up what? $1.20. Now it's going higher. And you know what? I will short a little bit more. How you doing? We'll short 100 live trading here. We're in just 100 more. How much do I have? D-Dog, I have DocuSign, 1,900 shares. So DocuSign. So what? I'm down with a half a point. What else did I do? You. Okay, you. I came in long you. With CrowdStrike acting very well. It's a cybersecurity stock. There's CrowdStrike, the best of breeds, by the way. Should have taken the best of breeds. CrowdStrike held, what else held? No, I'll cancel that. CrowdStrike. Well, so I took you, a good stock. Kramer's been all over it. The last time it went below this 200-day, same situation with volume, rallied back nicely. So I'm saying to myself, I think this thing, I have reason for it. It's not, I wasn't throwing darts. It's only because this last time it was repetitive. So here's my price in you. The stock closed at 26.33. It's 27.58. So it opened up $1.20. Now it's above the 200-day. At least going to claim the red, to 28. It didn't. So I sold the majority of it at 27.20. The most, actually, the last of it at 26.80. Now the market's flying. The stock's 26. Now it's actually looking like a short. So I was, once again, I didn't have an opinion on the market, i.e. the banks. I was just judging by what I had.
You don't like what may have some people off sides for a while.
Absolutely.
Even without other shoes dropping and the market selling off, is that we've taken, I was talking about yields coming in on the 10-year, but I was only looking for 370, and that was
Right.
was a bold call then from 4%.
Touche.
Okay, but we went to 340. And we're back to about 355, 360. But the fact that we had this crisis and there was that move in rates actually could be a boon and a tailwind for the market.
It
Now that
usually
people
is.
are worried, and I guess we'll find out what the Fed's going to do. I think they go at least a quarter. If they do nothing, the market's going to go, oh man, the Fed is really worried. I don't think that would be so great for the market if they did nothing. They're not going to cut.
That's why I'm trying not to have an opinion, because all these opinions are basically wrong, Coach, not ours. But now I'm hearing even when I get a solid opinion with the stock, then 3 or 4 days later, I see that something hasn't done something since 2008. It usually makes me rethink things. There's no, I'm not in a sailboat here. We're listening to Christopher Cross. I'm on a cigarette boat trying to, and I'm in a race here. So bottom line is what I said is really what this comes down to. If you're an option player, that call on VIX, buy one SPX call in the money. And if the futures, if your call is acting, just what Coach said, I don't know how to articulate better. Maybe you can, Coach. It's a good way to gauge on options, by the way. It's also a gauge on relative strength. But what I'm looking for are strong stocks that made strong moves, that they're backing up with time and volume. And I wrote a couple of down here this morning, and they're doing it. What are they doing here? Rolling, we're not interested in. Fitch, that's small ones. Riven, NQ, there's our chart on NQ. Okay, so I'll post this on TradeGATEHub. But for those that are,
it's on the verge of a break. It looks great. It's going to take out that high.
I don't know. Coach,
I think it looks great. I mean, all right, if you were reading, leave the chart there. No, leave it there. If you're reading a book on technical analysis, you would look at what happened in 2023, which turns out to be a flagpole. That's your pole. And we have a bull flag formation, which is a continuation formation. And on a breakout, you just measure the pole and tack it on top of it. And that's well above 13,000. So we went from 11,000, 2,000, that's 14.4 on the NASDAQ on a breakout on the NQs. Just a
Listen,
technical count,
no,
wrong under
no.
11.8,
If I didn't
wrong
agree,
under 11.8.
if I didn't agree, I wouldn't call myself a casual technician. I'm playing the channel, coach.
Okay, you're playing the downtrend.
I'm playing. No, well, it's a bull
Which
flag.
channel?
It's a bull flag, isn't it?
Oh,
This
okay,
one right
so,
here,
okay, all
right in
right.
here.
Yeah, okay.
Now let's go back to my screen if you can. Maybe if you can
Semis look just like that.
that's
They look
and
good.
here's my chart. Here's a
Copper
chart on the
looks just
Qs.
like that.
We just start.
Copper, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the ones to go for are AMD.
Yeah,
I mean, that's clear as they come. I'm
it
in it.
didn't give up anything. It didn't give it. All it did was move sideways. The semis. Remember Dave? What's Dave's last name? The guy
Hunter
who's yeah, Dave Hunter. He always felt that semis were going to be one of the leaders on the way up.
This
That they were.
GFS is in the fund. It's a stock. I'm building a position in long term. I'm on the
Yeah.
record. I have been, and everybody knows it. And it had a little hangover from this AEHR move and this wolf. But you know what? At AMD, MU has a hangover. AMAT announced a 10 billion share buyback yesterday. Everybody shrugged it off at 111 because of fear. Here it is at 120, looking great. AMAT, a former best of breed. You want to really go to the best of breed, you go to Lamb Research at 400. Don't get dismayed by the price. It is the best. Teradyne, the ancillary ones, looking very good at 105. Lewis, I know you like it. I know Lewis like the back of my hand. Who's calling me?
And avoid banks, right, Mike? I mean, don't try and bottom pick these banks.
No, I'm not. No, I'm trading.
No, I mean, I'm telling people, our viewers, don't try and bottom pick the banks.
No, if
you
go
want with the strength, go with what's leading. The banks could be in trouble for a while. So, you know, they've been wounded. They were in an auto accident. They're in shock. It's going to take time for them to heal.
This is exactly what the reference I made yesterday, and I don't think I'm wrong. It's the same thing when Walmart started saying that we have an inflation issue. Was this chart? Well, hold on. That's a minute. Everybody lasted me for the minute. It just said it a minute. Okay. If you look at let's go to the May, and we'll look at the SPYs. This was in May. Walmart told you that something was up. So we made a nice bounce like we may do now. Coach, probably right.
Yeah.
But here's the cockroaches around here.
Yeah.
Right, Coach?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be necessarily building one on City here. And Coach is right. There's always something to run to. There's something to run to. That's all. TJ.
Buy the strong groups and buy the strength within the sector.
Disney. Okay. Everybody was crying about Disney. It doesn't look like much, but it bounced at the whole number 90. Okay. It's not a big deal, but it's headed, who knows? I don't know.
Short the banks on strength.
I would do absolutely.
So anyway,
GE,
just
showing something. The big day up closed poorly. They shrugged it off right to the short term. 8 to 887. Here it is at 92, looking higher now. GE, where's it going weekly?
All right.
All right. So let's keep an eye. How's the end of the world coming? And the VIX should be down at 48. Look at my chart.
Like I said, copper looks like it's consolidating. I bet the Freeport or Copex probably look pretty good. Copex, COPX. I know you follow that one.
I do. Was the one. Oh, Coach.
I mean, what a perfect out. I had 10, 15 minutes to get out of my VIX yesterday. Now, you know what? It was at 29 on Friday, and I had just laid down, and I fell asleep, and it spiked to 29 Friday, and then by the time I got back to my screen, it was 25. So, I thought, oh, I missed my out. I would have taken at least half on Friday. It was a gift for me that it happened. There was one more follow through.
This was the gift for me. It split before this VXX split. Remember, this thing was like $14, and I'm not really good at trading these cheap stocks.
Yeah,
because of the percentage moves.
Yeah, that looks ugly.
Yeah, and the best thing that's happened to me is it split because I had a decent amount of shares, so it went from 42 to 60, $18. By the way,
50%.
I'm not saying I bottom ticked it, and I don't know why this doesn't have my trades from yesterday. But I'm telling you, usually at 233 when the overnighters come in and the VIX went down, I said, listen, the world isn't ending and this thing's starting to abate a little bit. So, either somebody knows something, they're going to wash something out. The fear isn't there. The cockroaches haven't appeared, but that's what tipped me off. And by the way,
What do you, go ahead.
I'm going to buy a little bit here. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right.
I sold
It's a
80% of
hell of
my
a
VIX.
pullback. Yeah. I mean,
I'm
I
buying right to the
actually,
50
you know
day.
what? Put up an intraday chart, like 2 hour or 4 hour chart on that.
There's a 4 minute. I don't know how long. Oh, you know what? 2 hour. I'll appease you. There's an hour. That doesn't do enough.
No, that's because this is the split. You'll need a different instrument. Okay, leave it there.
Sure.
Let's see.
This is my spot right here with hold on, with the volume started coming in.
Yeah.
48 right here. This is where I start building 47.69. Let me go to the daily. 46.769 is right about all this. 47.40 is the 8 day, the 50 day. It's right in, you split the 50 day and the 8 day, it's right there. So I'll start nibbling there.
So, Mike, I was looking for a low around the Fed and the equinox, which is next week. So although we've had a bounce, we could have a pullback and put in a higher low or have a retest of what happened yesterday. So just keep that in mind that, there could be, maybe a lot of people aren't going to want to be long into the Fed. So that's, I believe, the 20th. 21st, which is also the change of season, spring, new life. So let's see what happens in that zone. That's kind of a zone I'm waiting for to do something. Do you like anything in the oils? The oils still look heavy.
I'm going to short the CVE. It's not a barn burner. I saw a lot of puts go yesterday, the right kind of puts.
Okay.
So this to me is a little bit of a sheepish trade. Well, I don't know if I should say that for me, but this pops a little bit. There's CVE and energy stock. I don't like it. Let's go to the energy. I saw puts. That's the only reason why I bring it up. So
that's a hope reversal that you just showed before. Yeah, it's going. Yeah, this little green. Yeah.
So that's the one I'm looking to do. EOG. My guys are shorting it. This isn't my trade. My guys are. I'm not going to lie. I'm not in it. But EOG, they're shorting. I mean, probably in increments.
Yeah.
Oil Zim was one of these shippers that is going up and down, good volume, as you can see, good trader. Let's see what Johnson and see what they're doing, Coach. Johnson and Johnson yesterday, strongest one on the board. They're just there's rotation. So as long as there's rotation, why should people be fearful? You know what I mean?
Anything in the minors you like?
What am I?
Gold had a pretty nice run.
What am I going to do? Remember what? I can't tell you how many orders that I had, Coach. For this, remember, let's go to the weekly on WPM. How many orders did I had there at like $38 and it never got there? WPM. I had it like 38.20. Remember, that was the only one I was going to do. I'm not going to lie.
Did you see that it was down there and you still left your order in there? Did you see it was what 20-30 cents away?
Which one? WPM?
Yeah, this one right here. You're trying to buy 38 and you're watching it trade at 38.30.
Well, you have to.
Let me ask you, why didn't you just go to the market?
Because the market was imploding that day.
I just I have a real. I get very aggravated about this.
No,
because I've had lots of clients over the years, and here's my headline: limit orders, limit success. If you want to be in the market, is paying up to get long something 20-30 cents really going to change the risk to reward ratio that much? Isn't it more important to know that you own that position than trying to squeeze out a better entry and then be unable?
Some of the things what makes you good is make you bad, Coach. I started as a day trading background. I insist on price.
Well, I'm not just saying this about you, Mike. I've seen.
I'm trying to get better. Don't get me wrong.
All right, I'm just saying, you give up. Go to the market when it's close enough to a level. If you're not going to be there, you're not in front of the screen. It's completely understandable. You have a limit order. You're away. You're not paying attention to the market. I could understand you missing it and doing it with the limit order. But if you're in front of your trading platform and a market is within decimals of where you want to buy or sell something, limit orders can limit your success.
I agree with that. Let's go to WPM. on that
Anyway, you
day.
could tell,
Do you see what the rest of no, I could tell you. I appreciate
you
that.
know, I'm
The rest of
passionate.
them, it was the only one that wasn't breaking down at all. And I thought,
All right.
all
Okay.
right, it's not an I told you so. I get it. Noted on your lesson. No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Huh?
All my fans are squeezing me on DocuSign. Everybody that hates me is squeezing me right now on DocuSign.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll see.
All right, Mike. So, what do you think?
Roblox.
What do you think going into the weekend? If we don't give it all back tomorrow, I think, it was a nice recovery week. I think we shook out a lot of longs. I still think there's a lot of longs trying to hang on. I just have a hard time getting short here. At 4,100 S&P, that would be a different story for me, and I think that's a possibility. Once it's low, it's either been made or I believe it will be made by the Fed or the changing of seasons next week. I think we get a 6-week recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, to like
Nice.
4,100
Fuck you.
S&Ps, and
Nice.
then sell in May and go away. Look for
I'll
shorts
tell
after
you,
this
that didn't
rally.
work. It didn't work last year, did it?
Yeah, I don't think it's worked for 20 years.
Listen, just let's keep trading Asan having good news that it's doing after this. Same thing with Shopify still, Meta's acting well. I'm in that. Coach, the things are, Nevada and AMD are moving together. The oils are moving together.
AMD looks great.
Yeah, you know
The
what I mean?
semis look great.
PACB, look at this thing now. So listen, this is my screen. There are things to do. The best part now is there's a dichotomy market. I believe there's a lot of great short-term trading as evidenced by the VIX. And it's giving a little bit more for like Coach would do a macro view. And by the way, that's the best of what we do. I consider myself a pretty decent short-term trader. I do see a lot of,
You are good.
or a couple of tool trader. And especially when the retail's involved, the closes when the smart money comes in. So listen, be in the room all day long. I don't know what's going to go on. And I'm not really, like I said, to leave it off, it was just the same as the segue. I'm not here to guess the opinion. The price action has usually been right. Net over time, that's where it got me to get here. Am I wrong sometimes? Absolutely. Just about anything. It's not trying to, it's not if you're wrong, it's trying to, limit. It's problem is not staying wrong.
Yeah,
So
you guys need to stop in the room. Last week, put out a few sell shorts in Japanese yen before I knew SVP was going to happen because I was looking for lower yields. And then it turned into a windfall on Friday and Monday.
they're
It said
squeezing
short
it.
yen into the BOJ and the NFP.
Okay,
And that was a trade.
by the way, and the reason how you should know that is because of this. Our second best amenity on TradeGATEHub is what? Our YouTube channel, which by the way, how many people are watching is really irrelevant. It's really for the team. More and more views. Yesterday got 428 views, man. That's really incredible. That's more than my Jesus feed. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. He charges $79 a month for the Jesus feed, and he's got more views. I'll show you later. With that being said, it's okay. And you did say that. So going forward, I'm sold day. He's right, Lewis. I don't really have an opinion. There's great trading going on. So, listen to us. It's even if you don't want to, you want to see what's going on, go into our stock room, what's moving, what's up for the day, go to New York Exchange stocks, just go to up percentage. You see what's up and down. You go right here, you punch up what's up, FRC, obviously, that's what FRC is doing. You can go to 1 hour, you can go to 3 minutes, you can compare and go by volume. This blows Yahoo. You never even need not Yahoo Finance again if you're still on it. Believe me, you have bigger problems in all due respect. But even if you don't, you go to our newsroom. What's on the top news on the day when you want to sign on? If you know what position I'm taking in the market, you know what's going on, basically your positions, but you want to know news. Here's stocks, all curated by me. 1 minute ago, 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago. Why I dropped it. I mean, these are all curated, the best of it's just, you know what? This tell you the truth. It's curated for me. So if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you. So
the
this
drop
is what
to
I
3,000 is not going to happen until we get that rally to 4,100.
Okay.
And I want to wrap it with something. One of our guests, and he's a great trader with a huge following, Andy Constant. And Andy tweeted that he has a playbook for if the Fed reverses, or a playbook if it's going to be deflationary. And I responded, I said, I have a playbook for any economic condition. It's called price action.
Absolutely. I can't agree more.
I don't have to be an economist. I pretend to be because it's fun. And I think I see some things, but it's all Mr. King price. So you learn how to trade price action. You don't have to be an economist, be a trader. You think Mike's going to go speak at what's that famous business school that President Trump went to?
Wharton?
Wharton. Was it Wharton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, are you going to go give a speech about the Fed at Wharton this weekend? Are you? Are you
Am
going to
I?
go? Are you going to
No.
give a speech at Wharton
No,
this
I don't.
weekend about the Fed? All
I don't
right.
want to get ahead.
So,
Let's not get ahead of
all right.
ourselves.
Oh
Let's look
no.
at what
Anyway,
AMD is
so
doing. AMD backing up the
that's what I'm
calls.
saying. Mike isn't giving a speech at Wharton. He's just taking money out of the market, being a trader. Okay, learn to trade. I leave it there.
We will learn to trade here. And you know what? If we don't know the answer, we know where to get them. Not really
Right.
any names being targeted on the buy side, broad amount of names seeing short dated bounces, especially NASDAQ. On the dark side, more aggressive put names in unit and M3M puts active. VIX. Hold on. As stocks make new highs. Okay. So let's look at 3M. I know it's a boomer stock. Lewis loves it. Triple M.
Use
3M.
less leverage when you
So,
trade.
I mean, the market's made a nice
markets.
bounce. I mean, you want to play, I don't care what this is. So there's 3M. So when I see that, I look at stocks like DuPont. What's DuPont?
Use wider stops so you don't get picked off.
What song
If
is
you
that?
don't use
Oh,
less
stop.
leverage, you might lose your head and your account will be dead. Use less leverage. Use less leverage.
Who sings that, coach?
Me.
No, all right. ALB calls lithium.
I have a song, Gina, on use less leverage.
Is she
People have had to go to psychiatrists to get that tune out of their head. They've told me years later, Dale, I can't get that out of my head. Use
I might be
less
one
leverage.
day I might be saying I can't get this webcast out of my head. Forget about the tune. This might be one of those days, but I gotta go. Gina,
They're fond memories, Mike. All right, buddy. Good
depends what
hunting,
type of
man.
medicine they give me. Cheers, everybody. Seriously, stay in the room.
Cheers,
Lewis, if
bro.
you have any questions, let me know.
And remember,
everyone.
use less leverage. All right.
Never use leverage.